This channel's focus is bluegrass guitar, but I'm going to show you a tool today that's, in my opinion, the best practice tool, and no, this is not a sponsored post or video, that you can use regardless of what bluegrass instrument you're currently learning. Perfect for mandolin, banjo, dobro, bass, fiddle, all of the above. The program is called Strum Machine. I've been using it for the past 3 years or so, and I promise you, if you're trying to lock in your rhythm, if you're working on lead, if you're just trying to figure out the chord progression of any old song, this is the application that you need to progress your playing and to get better. I'm going to walk you through the entirety of my favorite features here today, explain how it works, and maybe demystify some things about Strum Machine. Let's get into it.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, first off, what is Strum Machine? How does it help you and what problem does it solve? So this is a massive catalog of backing tracks specifically for bluegrass music. There's a whole collection of songs. We'll go in here to the Ballad of Jed Clampett. This is a song from the Beverly Hillbillies. And you see when you pull it up, you've got the chord progression here. And what you can do, regardless of what you're practicing, whether it be rhythm or your lead, or maybe you're just trying to do basic chord changes, this counts it off and you can control the speed of the song. That way you can adjust it to however you're playing. All right, let's do an example. We're in the key of A here. We can change that as well.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's effectively like having your own virtual backing band, and it's a great, great tool for practicing bluegrass music. All right, let's talk about what you see here on this interface. So this is available both on desktop and as a mobile app. I tend to use the mobile app more, but for these purposes, let's just check out the website version. Right here, we have a gauge where you can increase the BPM. All right, and BPM stands for beats per minute. This is a massive advantage of this program because the problem I kept facing when I was learning how to play is that I'd get on YouTube and you'd find a backing track, but that backing track would be maybe at 1 or 2 speeds, and if that was too fast to learn the tune, you're kind of SOL. So what we can do here is we can take it as far down as we need to, and I tend to start learning songs and licks at about 60 beats per minute. Then when we hit play,
1, 2, 3, 4.
the tune is much slower, so it helps you be able to progress from the slower speed into those faster Billy Strings, Tony Rice, blazing 1,000 beats per minute sort of songs. There's also an option to auto speed up the song, and this is good for a couple different reasons. Number one, I think it reflects what is likely to take place inside of a regular jam, because often they speed up or sometimes they slow down, but it gets you to train your ear into kind of changing based on what you hear. And so you can increase it by like 1 beat per minute after each repetition, or more or less. And the other big perk of this is you can increase that as you're practicing, and then it forces you to play at a faster speed, and that'll help with your accuracy. And it's not like you're moving it up like 10 beats per minute. You can put it in different increments, say 3 or 4, whatever you feel comfortable with. And this does repeat, and that's also a gigantic perk in my opinion. I often tell folks that one of the ways that I first busted through one of my worst guitar plateaus in my mid-20s, where I just wasn't learning much, was I went out and bought a loop station. And I could play rhythm and record it and then practice my lead. And that was great because it just forces you to sit there. And when it just kept looping without stopping, I tended to practice better and for longer periods of time. There's also an option to auto finish a song after X amount of repetitions. I like to do this as just sort of a disciplinary measure to make myself sit here and play through 10 repetitions of the fiddle tune or the guitar break, whatever I'm working on. That way I know that I've tried it that many times. I love this because you can add and remove instruments, at least it's one of the features here. We'll just go down the list. And I play with a 3-piece bluegrass band. We don't have a mandolin player. And so while I love to practice here on Strum Machine with that chop, with both the downbeat and the upbeat, I really find it advantageous to also practice without the mandolin, just because that replicates what my real life setting is going to be like. And it does impact the way that you approach how you play if there's more instruments in the band. Sometimes I will just take out the guitar as well. And then when we go to listen to the tune, you can see that it's just the bass.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's also an option here to add like feet tapping to the track. Here's how that sounds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I actually love this feature. Here it says underneath it, tap on the downbeats. And when you have that extra beat, it just makes practicing more enjoyable, at least for me. All right, moving down to the preset library. I'm not gonna go through all of these, but you've got an option of different styles that you can put in the backing track. For example, this is Bluegrass mash. This is what a lot of players will refer to, or at least back in my day, if you're mashing on a song, Capo's usually on like the 4th fret, and you're playing everything really fast in like the first position. Let's listen to the standard, then we'll do the mash, and then you guys can go in and explore this on your own, because this will take forever if I play every one of them. 100 BPM for these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now for the mash.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The differences are subtle, but I could hear like some different walk downs with the guitar in the second one. Anyway, it's a great feature, and if you go through here, there's also old time, country. You've got different types of shuffles here, right? And these can get really funky. I don't usually practice with these, but here's how the walking shuffle might sound on the Ballad of Jed Clampett, the theme song from the Beverly Hillbillies.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Not what I usually practice, but there's somebody out there that I'm sure would benefit from some of these different styles of presets. Go to other styles. You've got the Quebecois reel. I'm probably butchering that. Cajun two-step. I've played with that a couple times. And so the presets are awesome, and that's just an extra feature that's in there. And they're a ton of fun to explore with. So not only is this a great backing track tool, it's also a really great educational tool if you sort of know how to use it, okay? In bluegrass music, we do use the capo often. It's really a non-negotiable, okay? Let's say, for example, that this guitar tune here was in the key of D, one of the common keys that we use in this style of music. So you change to the key of D, and then it automatically shows you the chords in that key. And this is great because sometimes if you're going to transcribe a tune, depending on how complex it is, it can take a while. So that's a really simple, like one-click solution. Now, this is where it's really nice. And if you kind of know what you're looking for, then this is a great way to learn the different capo shapes, okay? So we go here to the key, and we click on capoed chords. And right here are our options for how we can play this with a capo on, but stay in the same key, all right? So I don't know many people that play out of the A position on capo 5, but we do use the C position on capo 2 often. So when we click that, there it goes, it's already changed over. That gives us the different chord shapes we can play while staying in the key of D. And just as another example, let me find a different tune here. Let's take, for example, Wildwood Flower. A lot of us know this tune, or at least we've heard it. I learned this in C. Some folks play this in the key of G. And if that's you, or if you're playing in a jam and somebody's wanting to play it in perhaps a different key, you can just pull this out of your phone, change the key, and there's your chord progression. Nice and simple. Now, some of you might be familiar with the Nashville number system, some of you might not. But if you're into bluegrass music, it's kind of one of those things you want to learn and understand. And this tool also allows you to see the Nashville number system really easily. If we go to chart display over here, right, you go to letters, and then I'm going to change this to my number system, okay? Now, this might look alien to some, this might make perfect sense to others. What you're looking at right here is the Nashville number system. And the thing about this is, it doesn't change regardless of what key you're in. So if you have the numbers up here, and let's say you try to go change it to the key of A, right? It's going to be the exact same thing. Again, if you know how to read these, then this will make sense. If not, I talk about it inside of my Bluegrass program, Flatpick Foundations. There's also probably explanations on YouTube, I assume. But just kind of a pro tip here, if you are playing Bluegrass, do familiarize yourself with these numbers. In a jam setting, you're probably going to hear and see numbers more often than you are chord charts or chord progressions. You're not going to see like G, C, D, C, F, G. You're most likely going to see charts that look like this. And I think it's a great tool to kind of reinforce your understanding of the Nashville number system and just explore more as you go. But I'm going to change it back now to just the chord names. We'll get in the key of C here. And the other cool thing is you can highlight sections of the song, all right? Let me go to a different example. Tony Rice's Old Train. I don't know if you guys know this. I was practicing it the other day. Let's say, for example, that you've got a tab pulled up and you've got Strum Machine backing track to practice it with, right? And here I've got the tab to Old Train. What you see highlighted here is the part that was hard for me. Now, I don't have to practice the entire song here on Strum Machine. I've got a handful of measures here and I can just go and highlight this, pull this back up here, and I can just practice the one section of the song that's giving me trouble. And this is a larger practice tip, we'll say, because one of the things I tell my students is that you shouldn't practice the stuff you already know. Great to warm up, pick up the guitar, play that tune that you're familiar with, but then you should be practicing stuff that's a little bit harder. And so this reduces the amount of time that you're staying on one song and you're just staying hyper-focused on the part that's hard, and you can repeat however many times, right? And for this example, I want there to be a bit extra time for me to go back to the lick. So you might, highlight an extra measure or even an extra 2 measures, whatever it might be, and then you can repeat that as many times as you need to. Another cool way you can use this as an educational tool is as you go through the song list, you'll notice that there's different versions of a whole lot of tunes. Here there's 4 different versions of Sally Ann, 2 different versions of Sally Gooden. When we click on one or the other, there's usually a slight variation in how it's, constructed, or maybe the timing. This one looks really weird. But it's cool because this represents the regional differences, or a lot of those differences. You might go to a jam in North Carolina and it's going to sound completely different than the same song in, say, Ohio, right? Here's another good example that I think of. Sitting on Top of the World. This is like a hotly debated song in my band because I like the version that goes to the minor chord here. I'll put it in the key of G, has that E minor. Whereas the banjo player in the group wants the version without that minor in it. And really this is kind of up to the players involved or whatever song or version that you're learning. And I think it's just cool that they have the different options. That way you're familiar with them, you can practice them without having to load up a different chord progression. And that takes me to the other cool feature. Let's say that you're writing a song, or maybe you're going to learn a song and it's not inside of Strum Machine. You can just go up here to New Song, and we'll say this song is called, I don't know, Cody's Reel. And we'll choose a key, just G to make it simple. And then you can create your own backing track to whatever song that you'd like. I won't go through the whole thing. I'll show you some examples of mine. But what's cool down here is it already has your 1, 4, and 5 and your relative minor here. That means that you can go through and the chords that are going to fit inside of that key are already listed there for you. So even if you don't have a song figured out, you can come in here and make your own instrumental or what have you. And this is really cool because I've used this a whole lot. And just to show you here, these are the ones that I've created. My band does like Fat Bottom Girls right here, so I wanted to create the chord progression for that song so I could sit here and practice it. And then this is one of the originals that we do. It's called The Creature. It's about like Sasquatch in the woods. It's a fun tune that we wrote a while back. And so you can come in here, customize everything, and you can practice over your own stuff, which is really cool. The big downside to a lot of folks is that there is no banjo as a backing track instrument. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's one of those instruments that would probably be hard to integrate. But that being said, if you are learning banjo, this is the perfect tool because you need banjo in a bluegrass song and you can put it in here. There is some advanced settings. I've never really played with these. There's not been a reason for me yet, but if you have any questions about this, I can try to answer them, or I can come back and make another video on these features. But to end this video, I'm going to say this is not a sponsored post. I've paid for this program now for a long time, and I absolutely recommend this to anybody learning this style of music, because it's also like, it's not ad filled, and so you're using an app, but it's not like you're staring at a screen. And so that's a big plus for me, because a lot of the stuff that you subscribe to, it's like, you know, it keeps you on the phone, and I'm trying to do less of that. So yes, we are using a device here, but you know, you can just put your headphones on like I do, you know, put 20 repetitions on, and then you've got a good practice session, and I promise you, you're gonna make progress. But this video has been long overdue. I wanted to go through, you know, different parts of this, and if you have any questions, just let me know down below. I think last time I did this video, folks had questions about, you know, trying to understand the capo chords and how that helps you sort of make those connections. Just ask me below. I can make more content on it. And also, folks, if you've been playing guitar for a while, but you still don't have that bluegrass sound, got to talk about business here, because the way that this channel keeps its doors open and the lights on is through folks signing up for my program, Flatpick Foundations. If you've been playing a while and you know you should be better, and a lot of the stuff online doesn't connect, it's kind of hard to do a course on YouTube. And so when you get into the private library, there's going to be everything laid out for you. You're going to have backing tracks. You're going to have examples of the tunes to listen to. And it's ever growing, so I'm adding more stuff in there over time. And it's helping so many folks finally understand this style of music. So if you are interested, check that out down below. There's also a lot of affiliate links and things I don't usually mention here on the channel, but you don't have to really buy a specific product. If you want to check that out, to like Guitar Center, Sweetwater, the guys at the Acoustic Shop, nice folks. We also have sort of a program connection through them down below. And if you just click that link, make your purchase, it's going to help me out marginally. And every little bit counts here on the Cody M Music YouTube channel. So folks, I appreciate it. Put your questions down below and let me know if you need to learn anything else. All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.